guys. I'm so glad to see you this morning. So good to be back in the studio after, we had Gold Digger and then everybody got sick. We had all the fun things going on. But today we have the most amazing topic for you. 7 signs you may have a hobby on your hands and not a business. How do you tell if you're running a hobby, not a business, and what you can do about it? So let's get started. So first of all, if this is your first show, my name is Cyndi Williams. I'm known as the Wanderlust CEO. I've been in the travel industry, celebrated 25 years this year. So it has been a little minute. I started way back when I was 19. And I love to help people grow, scale, and supersize their travel businesses. That's my day job. I run an amazing company called Careers on Vacation that helps travel entrepreneurs do that. And I also run my own award-winning travel agency called Tripsy Travel. So, and if you're new to the show, there's 3 things you should know about me. Well, besides the fact that I love travel, that's number 1. Number 2, I have an insane coffee mug collection I like to share with y'all. So today, you can tell I have cold, not hot in here today. We have Prevent Wildfires. I used to love this little guy when I was a kid. I got this at Fort Wilderness in Disney World when I was there recently. So that's a fun one. And the last fact is I love amazing earrings when I travel. I love to pick up finds. Actually, I got these in Austin, so I didn't have to travel really far because that's where I live. But and if you're listening to us on our podcast, I want to remind you, if you want to see the coffee mugs and the earrings and all the fun stuff, you guys can find us lots of places. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We are streaming on Roku and Amazon with our show called Bliss to Abundance, which is the show you're watching today. And I am your host, Cyndi Williams. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. So today we have a hot topic. When I was thinking about what we should chat about today, I've had a lot of clients. It's New Year, still New Year timeframe. It's one of our busiest times, not just in the travel industry, but also at Careers on Vacation. We have so many new clients that are in the program right now, growing their businesses. And there's some common themes of, do I have a hobby on my hands? Do I have a business? And we help people understand kind of where their businesses are. And one of my most watched videos on YouTube is a video called 7 Signs You May Have a Hobby, Not a Business. So I thought, let's reboot that because it's been a couple years since we did it. And there's some even more criteria that we dig down in to help people understand. Because a lot of times people think they have a business, but really they have a hobby. And sometimes they don't realize the potential in our industry for growth and abundance and what you can really do. So that's what the show is about today. And I want to start by saying, look, if you like having a hobby travel business, there is no judgment there whatsoever. Lots of people start as a hobby and then transition to a business when they're ready. So if that's your thing, no judgment at all. You're still going to learn some great stuff today to start that process, or just run the most fruitful hobby business that you can too. So number one way to tell that you have a hobby on your hands and not a business is, do you have, when you crack open your computer in the morning, do you have unique new leads coming in every single day? This is the easiest one because sometimes you open your laptop and if there's crickets for days on end, there's not leads coming in. And I'm not talking about friends and families and referrals. Look, you can build a good hobby business on friends, family, and referrals. I am not denying that. It's not actually a bad way to have a hobby business. But if you're talking about running a robust, supersized, we specialize in helping people getting to 6 figures and beyond type travel business, you have to have leads coming into your business every day. If you don't have customers, you can't make sales. If you can't make sales, you can't make profit. So if that's the number one thing, do you have those unique leads coming in? Okay. So ask yourself that question, and that will kind of help you gauge as we go through this process. Number 2, if you are not already at or trending towards $700, $800, $1 million in sales a year, you have a hobby business, not so much a business. And that sometimes shocks people because they think, oh my gosh, I'm selling $500,000 a year. I'm making $40,000, $50,000. I feel great about that. You should feel great about that. That is an awesome start. Congratulations, you are on your way. So I do not want to in any way, shape, or form take that away from you. That's amazing. But again, if the goal is to be running an up-leveled travel business, a supersized travel business, a business the way that we have helped people build them and the way that some people have built on their own, talking about real abundance coming in, like life-changing abundance, sometimes people don't realize what's possible, right? So we do discovery calls sometimes and people will say, yeah, I want to replace my other job and I make 50,000, or I want to replace my other job and I make 120,000. So how am I going to bring in, $10,000 to $12,000 every month? That's what I would need to make. Is it possible? Is it not possible? I'm here to tell you it is absolutely 100% possible if you know what you're doing, if you have the right systems and processes in place, if your marketing is working, if you have a marketing machine in place. So I want to challenge your thinking on that. And a lot of times people say, well, oh my gosh, I'm so busy with selling the 300, 400, 500,000. How would I ever sell $1 million? And not lose my mind because I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I got stuff going on, or a dad, or, a husband. So I get it. I'm a mom. I have 2 kids. I have a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old going on 7. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So I get it. We have the volleyball games. We have the art classes. We have Tai Chi. We have soccer. We have swim. We have all the things, right? The only way you can do it without going insane and still having work-life balance is systems, processes. Okay, so we're going to talk about that in a minute. But think about, what were your sales for last year? We're in wave season right now, so everybody should be getting, leads. If you have any type of marketing, even if it's not the best marketing, you should be getting a flow of people inquiring about vacations, because it's the natural time for people to book vacations. So think about that. Your ability to earn in this business, selling travel is not that difficult. And I don't mean to say it in a way that it's easy, because you do have to know how to do it. But it's like when I've run 3 really successful companies, right? One of the companies I ran for almost 10 years, we also had a cleaning franchise, right? So we sold cleaning services, a service, like literally cleaning people's toilets, right? Like, how sexy is that? It's not, let me tell you. It's like an extra service for people. If they don't see the value in it, then they cut it off. And it's not exciting. Like, having someone come to dust your house and clean is not exciting. Selling a trip to Turks and Caicos, that's exciting when you see the difference in terms of like how you're selling. And that company, we sold millions of dollars a year in toilets. Come on, you can actually sell anything in any business, but travel is way easier than other business models. So a lot of times it comes down to, what are the processes you have in place and things like that. But ask yourself, number 2, where am I at sales-wise, and is it hobby or is it business? All right, and pop me a little note where you guys are tuning in from. I see everybody over on YouTube and Facebook. I would love to know where you guys are watching from today. It is freezing literally here in Austin today. It's so cold. So number 3 is you don't have any automation in place. And I love, you guys hear me talk about automation a lot. And the reason is because automation changes the game, not just in your work-life balance for sanity and for your life, it will change the game in your business. One of my team members, my amazing Christine, I'm going to share my screen here in a second. Let me find this thing she found online. We're creating some content for a new program. We work with business owners who already have huge teams and things in place. So she was just doing some digging and she found this really cool thing online. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's a perfect example to talk about, automation in its essence is, how do you get more time, right? Make more money in less time. That's really what automation is. Like right now, so many of you are in solopreneur mode that you're trading your own time, your own hours, your own life for money. If you only have so much time in a day, you can only earn so much money with the time that you have. But when you introduce automation into the fold, that's why it changes the game, because now you can do more with the time that you have. Does that make sense? give me a little emoji, like a love or a like or mean face, whatever you feel like, whatever you want to throw my way. But tell me, does that make sense? So let me show you what Christine found. And I love this. And this is not ours. This is the Amanda Bucci, at Amanda Bucci. So you can look her up. I don't know who she is, but I love this little thing that she put together. And it shows you like how a solopreneur thinks and how a CEO thinks. And I just love this because solopreneur does everything themselves. No one can do it as good as me. The ultimate DIY. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do it. Everything I can figure it out, blah, 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 blah. A CEO hires team members, or I can train someone to do this so I can stay in my zone of genius. As a CEO, you are the visionary for the company as it grows. And you might not be there yet. That's okay. But recognize as you grow, your job is to work on your business, not so much in your business if you're talking about running a supersized travel business, okay? Secondly, takes on clients whenever so you don't leave money on the table. I hear this all the time. Cyndi, I'm working 9 o'clock at night. Clients are calling me 3 in the morning. They're overseas. I never can stop working. That's a solopreneur setup, right? Versus focused on building an empire to support a bigger mission. Think about that, guys. Think about that. How are you going to have that balance? Because you're going to burn yourself out if you stay in that solopreneur zone all the time. Works all day, all night, all weekend. We just talked about that one. A true CEO thinks about how can I make this more efficient? And efficiency is always key because overworking is not an option for a CEO. A CEO knows that you have to fill your own cup. You have to stay at the top of your game. You have to have that work-life balance. When you're doing those things as a CEO, you are the most impactful in your business. I still struggle with this today, but it's one of those things where when I feel that anxiety rising up, I go, you know what? We need to take a walk. We need to take a day off. We need to have the balance. You know, what system do I need to put in place to make this easier so we can have the balance again? Because you can only be in that zone of genius when you have that balance. Does that make sense? Flies by the seat of their pants without tracking data. I see this all the time when I get in and we start working with new clients. They're like, I'm doing this over here and I'm doing this over here and they have their hands in 18 different places, or you're chasing 10 rabbits and you're not going to catch any. And so it's kind of like, oh, today I'm thinking about marketing, so let me do some research and run down this path today. And then tomorrow I'm thinking about how to better scale my team, so I'm running down a different path. So it's kind of like no strategy, running all over the place. A CEO starts with the most important thing in your business, which is your data. What do the numbers tell you? We call them key ratios, key performance indicators, KPIs. What are your key performance indicators? Things like your close rate, things like your cost per lead, things like your profitability month over month. What is the data telling you about your performance and your team's performance if you have a team? And lastly, and this is my favorite one, can create a limited amount of income based on trading time for money. That's what I was talking about leading into this section, right? You only have so many hours in a day, where a CEO can create an infinite amount of income based on building repeatable systems. I'm going to say that again. A CEO can create an infinite amount of income based on building repeatable systems. Guys, that is what automation is. Stuff that's going on in your business. How do you make the system more efficient? How do you make it repeatable? What process do you put in place so you can make more money, right? So number 3 is not having that automation in place, okay? And I see you guys are putting a bunch of comments in. I'm going to try to go back and visit with those if Facebook will let me get in. So hey Karen, hey Kathy, hey Christy, hey Hassan, lots of my current and former clients on here watching today. I love that, you guys, and some new faces too. So that's amazing. So number 3, no, specifically we talked about the automation in general, but what does that mean in a travel business? What's your leads management process? What process do you put your leads through? Do you have a marketing machine in place? That goes back to number 1. Are you getting those leads every single day? What marketing machine do you have in place for your business that's delivering that? Or how do you tweak it? How do you improve it to get what you want? What's your client service processes? Is that automated, right? How you interact with your clients? And what people don't realize with our business model, people go on vacation pretty much every year, if not multiple times a year. This is the great thing about a travel business model, is it is a recurring business model. So if you build your model in a way with both your automation, communication, those two things together, you can create a much more repeatable process, repeatable system, right? With that recurring business model to ensure that people are working with you again and again. And that, of course, raises your income. Number 4 thing to think about, which may indicate you have a hobby, not a business, if you don't have a marketing plan in place. And I don't mean I'm going to go out on Facebook and just post about whatever I'm thinking about today. That's not a marketing plan. It's not a marketing strategy. And this is probably one of the biggest struggles that I know that you guys deal with, and I know why you struggle with it for a couple of reasons. Number 1, marketing feels like an entire freaking second job. And trust me, I know, because my job is to educate you guys. My job, really core, my job as a mentor, as an advocate, we do some free education. That's why we're doing this live stream today. If I'm working with my paid clients, my job is to help them make the most amount of money in the least amount of time. That's the number 1 thing I tell my clients, and I have at the top of this is my job, right? I should probably print that on my business cards. So in order to do that, marketing comes into play, and I understand. So I have to be really educated on marketing. I go to not just travel conferences through the year. I go to the best marketing conferences in the world to understand what the best marketing is. And let me tell you, our industry, particularly the home-based agent, is so far behind in what is available, what is possible, and what can be done along the lines of marketing. There are plumbers, there are cleaning companies, there are base level services that have better marketing than we are using and that is available to us. And some of it isn't even expensive. It's just not, it's not out there in the industry, because who's going to train their competition besides me? Right? Because it's one of those things where we're not if you're working for a host, and some hosts are great, some hosts are okay, they're all over the map, but in the majority, who's going to train you how to go off and be on your own? Who's going to train you how to do marketing so it is done in a big way? Because again, it's a second job. Most people just aren't equipped, and the information is not readily available in our industry. So I get frustrated. I'm not going to go on my soapbox and talk about that all day long, I promise. But that's one of those things that you guys have to realize. Yes, one of your jobs is to be a travel agent, but your other job is how to run an online business. And the biggest part of running that online business is to know that marketing is the lifeblood of your company. It really is. If you're not doing effective, efficient marketing, back to number 1, you're not getting leads, so you can't make sales, so you're not going to make profit, right? So marketing is so key. So if you don't have a marketing plan, if you don't have a good marketing strategy, if you're not already working with a mentor, you don't have time to go to 15 marketing conferences through the course of a year, I get it. Like I know that it's tough, but that's your job to get leads and to get business for your company, because it's not 1984 where the travel agency does the marketing. And back then they were advertising in the local newspaper and doing direct mail and doing some of those old school marketing techniques to get leads into the agency. No, this is part of your job now in this new world for the home-based agent. So you better be good at it. And I get it. It feels like a second job, but you got to take it on if you want to be effective at it. Number 5, if you are not working or partnering with a mentor that has already made all the crappy mistakes that you can learn from so you can do a better job, that's a sign that you might have a hobby, not a business. What do I mean by that? When I had my first job, I worked for RCI, which is a huge travel company, was back then, still is today. And we had something like 300 travel consultants, we were called at the time, on the floor. And when I came out from training, I said, sit me next to one of these $1 million sellers. I want to learn. I want to do a great job. And I had kind of this negative Nelly friend who was in my class. We were kind of the same age and stuff. And she's like, oh my gosh, it's going to take years to be able to sell $1 million. Da, 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 da. But I went to my supervisor and I said, look, I said, can you sit me next to this person? I want to learn. And because of that, in that environment, I was able to listen. They used to have this system where you could take your headset, you could plug in and listen to how they presented themselves, how they closed. I went to every training that I could go to. I took advantage of all those opportunities. And let me tell you, within my first full year as a travel consultant, I sold $1 million in travel. And I was also the first person in the history of that company to ever work part-time, because I was going to college and working, that sold $1 million. So in 20 hours a week, sold $1 million, 25 hours. I mean, it's 25 years ago. I'm remembering to the best of my recollection. But that was a huge deal back then. But with the time that I had, I was most efficient. But most importantly, I was learning from mentors. Then when we had our other cleaning company, I went out and I said, who's doing it the best? Let me talk to these people. Let me learn from them. And then I said, let me pay some consultants to come in so I can learn how we can do things better. You know, we learned about systems and marketing, automation from people who are at the top of their game. And that's what allows you to make those transitions faster. Right? So if you don't resonate with me, no hard feelings. I want you to find someone that you love and that you can work with and that will help you. Because my core belief is everyone can have as much abundance that they choose to in this industry. But it's one of those things where finding that person that's a match to work with you to help you with these things is going to move you and help you up level much faster. It's so hard. Like you guys aren't in a call center or in a local agency where you can ask questions or, work with people that for sure are at the top of their game and that are having the success. And guess what? Those people in the home-based market, they're not sharing. They're not spending, they're busy booking. They don't have time to come and say, let me help you, person who's, considering getting into the industry, because it's a lot of hours required to get you to that place where you know how to be a great TA, travel advisor, but also know how to run your online business. It's a lot to learn, right? So consider the fact that your biggest commodity is not money, it's your time. If you don't want to take 10 years before you get to that place where you're selling 800,000+ a year, you want to do it way faster and more efficiently. Time is the only thing you can't get more of. You can always make more money, right? You can book more trips. You can get a second job. You can always make more money. Time is the only thing. So whenever I'm starting a new business, growing a business, or scaling my business to the next level, I am constantly hiring mentors and consultants to get me to where I want to go to up level. Perfect example. We just had our Gold Digger conference, and people, if you saw the pictures, you see all these travel entrepreneurs from all over the world, and I'm speaking in front of everyone. It looks like a big event. I paid a consultant, I flew a consultant in to tell me what I can do better and how we can make our events more amazing, more spectacular going forward. So I paid thousands of dollars to do that because I am always constantly improving my company. And it also gives that outside perspective looking in, someone to help me with my business, no matter what level you're at. You have to be committed to that piece. Okay, cool. So let's move on to number 6. Do you have a goal? And with that goal, do you have a plan? What do I mean by that? So a lot of times we talk to people, especially during our discovery calls, and our team talks to people and we're like, awesome, you want to have this travel company. Tell me more about that. Like, what does that mean for your family? How much money are you hoping to make? And, all those questions. A lot of people are like, yes, I want to have this travel business, or I want to transition full-time into this lifestyle. And I want to make $4,000, $6,000, $10,000 a month. And then we'll say, oh my gosh, that's awesome. So that's totally possible in our industry. What's your current plan to get there? And that's where most people are stuck. They're like, yeah, that's kind of my goal, but I don't know how to get there. That's why I'm on the phone with you, right? So it's one of those things where if you don't have a plan or you don't know how to get there, you got to figure out what your actionable steps are going to be, right? So if you don't have a plan, it really is just a dream. So if it's going to sit on the shelf and be a dream, or you're going to be in a plateau if you're already an existing agent, right? You got to figure out what your actionable steps are going to be. And some of it's the stuff we talked about today: automation, mentor, marketing, right? Number 7, last but not least, how committed are you investing in yourself and your business, right? So the difference between a hobby business where you're kind of like, yeah, let me see how it goes. And then the second, how a CEO thinks about it is, what do I need? Who do I need to learn from to accomplish whatever the next goal is in my business? You see the difference there? So solopreneurs kind of DIY, see how it goes. Nothing ever really happens. Cycle of mediocrity, right? Again and again. If you can switch gears and change your mindset to think like a CEO and go, okay, look at the data. Remember the little graph? Look at the data. What are the problems in my business and who do I need to talk to get help with this? Or what technology do I need to get help with this? If you fix those things, but the real question comes down to, are you willing to invest in your business? If you're not willing to invest in yourself and invest in your business, that is why, and it's okay, no judgment if you're staying in hobby mode, but understand, in order to accomplish these big things, and there really is no limit on what you can earn in this industry or how big that you can grow this thing, you have to be willing to invest in whatever it is you need to grow your business. So, and think about this too, guys, like, here's the beauty of a travel business. I've run different kinds of businesses and been, worked in corporate and done different things. A normal small business is pretty pricey to get into. Travel actually isn't. If you have a computer, a laptop, a phone, and you're willing to spend some money on getting some help and getting some automation, it is a way more affordable business than almost any home-based opportunity out there. When we bought our franchise, it cost us $250,000 to purchase the franchise, to buy the territory, to get, the offer, to do all the things we needed to do. And we didn't make money for almost 15 months, which is pretty standard. Most businesses, you load a bunch of money up front, and then they have this process called break even, where you run in the red for so many months, and then there's a switch over where you hit break even, and which all that means is you're covering your costs, you're still not making money, and then you get into the profit zone, which we made amazing profits for that business. But who has $250,000, right? We cashed out our life savings, our 401k, every penny we had, took out loans, got an SBA, risked it all, and then knew that we weren't going to make money for, or like downsizing our house and eating ramen soup for, you got to do what it takes sometimes to have your business. The beauty of a travel business is it is nowhere near that crazy amount of spend. And guess what? That money that you spend is because you're walking in with name recognition, because they're training you how to do things. They're giving you systems, they're giving you process, they're giving you the roadmap. So it's not like you just burnt $250,000, because there's a path to it. There is also a path for the home-based agent, but there is not a model out there outside of Careers on Vacation that I know of where you can get that roadmap and that whole piece. So, but think about, what are you willing to invest in your business? The good news is there's nowhere near 250 or crazy numbers that can be out there for other types of businesses. This is one of the most affordable businesses you can start, because you can do hobby and spend nothing. You're just going to stick in kind of hobby mode. But if you want to run it like a resilient business that's going to be a situation where you can work full time in it, that's where you're going to have to say, what am I willing to do investment wise, right? And make that decision. So if all of this stuff, guys, seems overwhelming, and I hope it's not overwhelming, I hope you pick some good tips up to understand, help you just self-assess where you are today. But I get it. Being a home-based agent when you're home by yourself and trying to look at information boards and hoping people give you good information, you don't know if these people have success in the industry or not. Maybe they've had a little luck. I don't know. It's one of those things where I get where it's frustrating for you guys. That's why we try to do a lot of this advocacy stuff that we do. But if you're overwhelmed and you need help with marketing, you need help with systems, with processes, you're desperate to get your business kind of at that place where it is growing, supersizing, at a place where you can transition from another job, working at full time, you need to get your roadmap. You need to get your mindset in a place where you understand that more is possible than you think is possible in the industry. Take those limiting beliefs off, because I'm here to tell you, I work with clients every day that are knocking it out of the park. I mean, over in our grad group, there's messages all the time. So just yesterday, Cyndi, I just was highlighted in this national news article. Cyndi, I tripled my income. Cyndi, and gold digger, right? I have all these people coming back and just coming out of that environment where I see what people are doing, where they're multi-million-dollar travel companies now. It's amazing. So stop thinking small, start thinking big. I want to challenge you to start thinking bigger about what you believe is possible. It's just, you might not know exactly how to get there right now, and that's okay, but it is possible. So think about, if you haven't already, think about checking out Careers on Vacation. We'd love to talk to you just to understand where your business is today. We offer a free discovery call process where you can talk to someone on my team and they'll help assess kind of where you are, what your goals are, and see if applying for our mastermind is a fit for you. You can go to careersonvacation.com/ready now. And it's a totally free call. If nothing else, you'll get clear on your goals and kind of help you move you in the right direction. And remember, guys, you have 2 jobs. If you are really taking travel on seriously, hobby business or not, one job is to be an amazing travel advisor, which we teach you on our new agent track in the program. The second is you better know how to run an online business, because that's really what you're doing. It's not just, I'm going to be a travel advisor, I'm going to pass out some business cards at the beauty shop or whatever. It's not how it works. If you want to really be running a big business, a business that's going to, bring in more abundance and change things in your life, you have to know how to run an online business. And that's the piece that people aren't sharing, but that we have put together in Careers on Vacation. Would love to help you with that. Roadmap, processes, everything from sales, everything we've talked about today is covered at length in the program for sure. So I want to tell everyone, thank you for watching the show. And really the only criteria to be successful in this industry: do you have a passion for travel? Are you willing to work hard? And are you willing to invest in yourself, in your business, whether that's with us or with someone else? I always wish you guys so much love, so much abundance. I wish you the world. Thank you for tuning into the show today. And post a little comment below if you enjoyed the show, or if you're watching on YouTube, just click a little CTR for Caught the Replay. I would love that. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week. Have a great week. I love you guys. We'll talk soon.
Meg loves to travel. She's tired of her stressful job and wishes she could have her own travel business. Meg heard travel agents get amazing discounts and work from home or while they travel. This sounds perfect, but Meg has no idea where to start. Meg is worried she will fail because she's never worked in travel, and launching a business is overwhelming. That's when Meg found Careers on Vacation, which taught Meg everything she needed to launch her portable, profitable travel business. Meg got to work with industry expert Cyndi Williams and the Careers on Vacation team to launch her travel business in just weeks. Now Meg is helping families book dream vacations, earning amazing commissions, and traveling the world. Meg is so grateful she found Careers on Vacation.